The beauty and bounty of the backcountry. More and more people are drawn to the call of the wild, where powder turns and serene landscapes await. Join us for the next half hour as locals share their expertise on everything from gear and courses to alpine clubs and hut projects. Get into the backcountry today on Go Sea to Sky. Welcome to Go Sea to Sky. I'm Nicole Fitzgerald. Backcountry adventures have never been more popular. Over the past year, the sales of backcountry gear has increased 40+% for industry giants such as MEC and Backcountry.com. The choices are endless, and where do you start? Do you pick a tracker or a mammoth transceiver? Do you splurge on a traditional backcountry touring binding, or do you go with a side country binding? Of course, internet research is a great place to start, but nothing beats going and talking to a local expert face to face. Backcountry skiing. It's about serene escapes.
I just love the peace and quiet, being with friends, and also, of course, good powder.
It's exactly for these reasons that Glenn Del Bosco has toured Whistler's backcountry for nearly 20 years, and it's exactly for reasons like this that Glenn ensures those new to the sport like me venture into the backcountry properly equipped.
Hi, Nicole.
Hey, Glenn, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Safety items: to be responsible, you need to have a shovel, a probe, a transceiver, also a compass, a map, headlamp, and knowledge.
But where to start with so many brands and designs? Glenn steps me through some helpful pointers, starting with boots. So what's the primary difference between an alpine boot and a backcountry boot?
Well, an alpine boot has a flat sole, it's a din sole, and touring boots have what they call a rockert sole. They also have a rubber sole. Rubber allows extra grip on rock or any other hard surface you might be walking on. They're also a lot lighter.
The boot must be paired with a backcountry binding as well. There are all-in-one bindings. Alpine or backcountry, a skier can navigate both in these, so only one setup of equipment is needed. For the backcountry purist, a tech binding is recommended, such as this.
What you would do is you would place the toe in where the pin area is and push down, and it snaps into place.
Now, what are some of the benefits of having sort of this hinge-like binding?
Well, the benefit is that you're not lifting the binding with every step. You're only lifting the boot with every step and your ski. So with a lot of the other touring bindings, you have the heel attached, the heel piece of the binding attached to the heel of the boot, and so every step adds extra weight.
It's all about reducing weight out there, right?
It's all about reducing weight.
Weight should be taken into consideration when choosing gear, especially for skiers interested in multi-day trips.
Shovels come down to personal preference, from the smallest shovels for the pure backcountry skier who's concerned about weight. And then we also carry larger shovels for people who are maybe going to set up camp or going to build jumps.
The industry standard for transceivers is now 3 antenna. Used in stressful conditions when seeking out a buried skier, choose a brand that is easy and clear to use.
The technology has gotten to a point now where you can almost walk directly to the person that's buried. Digital transceivers simplify the search for the average recreational user. The analog transceivers, well, they're a combination analog-digital. So somebody who might be involved with search and rescue, Whistler Blackcomb Patrol, the transceivers that they use are digital transceivers with analog capabilities so that they can search a greater distance if needed.
A backcountry item no longer restricted to the pros is an airbag. The carrying portion of the bag is detachable, so a 15-liter day pack or 40-liter multi-day bag can be used.
So this is the ABS backpack system. It's designed to keep you afloat in the case of being caught in an avalanche.
Shall I give it a try?
Give it a try.
All right. I feel like I could fly away. That's exactly what this bag aims for the wearer to do. And hopefully, with luck, this will be the only time you'll need to deploy it. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. The secret to responsibly enjoying the bounty of the backcountry. From Whistler, I'm Nicole Fitzgerald for Shaw TV. I had bought most of my gear before the filming of the story, but after spending some time with Glenn, I actually switched up a couple of my items. I switched from a tracker to a Mammoth transceiver. It's easier to use and it has some additional components that can come in handy in the event of a second avalanche. So we've covered our gear and now we're going to move on to clothing. When you're traveling in the backcountry, you definitely want to stay dry, which can be challenging with your body temperatures fluctuating. Well, the secret to a peak performance is layering. When in the backcountry with no civilization in sight, the only thing between you and the elements is your clothing. So picking out the right mid-layer or jacket can make the difference between a short, grumbly day or a long, cruisy, comfortable one.
I think the most important thing is layering up, wearing comfortable clothing that wicks away moisture, that's breathable, super lightweight.
Light, quick to dry, breathable, and dependable. These are all things backcountry enthusiasts should consider when hitting the racks. Peak Performance General Store co-owner Miranda Ford stresses the importance of a wicking base layer.
We have actually 3 different types of base layers. We have our multi, which includes a 20% wool, but it has a polyester mix as well, so it's technical, a little bit warmer, and breathable as well with the polyester in there.
Synthetic fibers like polyester dry quickly. Skinning up a mountain, no matter how well you pace yourself, sweat is going to be a factor. Something that was taken into consideration when designing this mid-layer, the next step in gearing up.
It's called the Blacklight Mid-Zip. It's designed specifically for layering. It's got the thermocool insulation in the front, which is great for keeping your body temperature up, and then in the back it has the Polytech fleece, so it's super breathable. It's great if you're wearing a backpack because you don't get sweaty in the back area. So this is the R&D backpack.
Backpacks are also something to consider. This 28-liter waterproof R&D backpack is perfect for day trips with an easy access front pocket for your shovel and probe.
It carries skis and a snowboard, but the skis you carry in many different ways. You've got the strap here. You can attach it to the top with this handy little strap. It also has an insulated camelback here. Stop your camelback from freezing. My favourite little secret is the whistle in the strap there.
The less you have to haul, the easier the go. This is the one time in life where size matters.
You can see how compact it is. It zips into its own little pocket. Let me show you here. So you can see, great for backcountry, clip it onto your backpack or throw it in your backpack. And there you go, you've got the regular jacket. And the great thing about this jacket as well is it really maintains your body temperature. So if you're going uphill and you're getting quite hot, it really does allow the moisture to escape. And then when you're cooler, it will trap in the heat and regulate your temperature.
From base to mid to the final layer, a 3-layer Gore-Tex shell. The more your clothing does the work, the less you will have to. But that doesn't mean functional can't be fun and fun be functional.
I think when you're in the backcountry, definitely having some bright colour is important. It's going to be easier to spot you in a bright colour, and it's fun too.
Safety first, with fashion a very close second. From Whistler, I'm Nicole Fitzgerald for Shaw TV. You'll also notice that the pockets are placed higher on my jacket, and that's to accommodate the waist strap on your backpack or a mountaineering harness. You're watching Go See the Sky. Our half-hour special on backcountry skiing continues as we dig in with the Whistler Alpine Guides Bureau. Coming up,
even experts are moving into the backcountry and still getting into avalanches.
Avalanches aren't the only dangers backcountry enthusiasts need to take into consideration. Look out for the human factor.
The following are proud supporters of community programming on Shaw TV.
Hairstyling and color services for Nicole Fitzgerald are provided by The Loft Salon. TheLoftSalon.com. Nicole Fitzgerald's wardrobe is fitted by Peak Performance. peakperformance.com.
400 athletes, 300 volunteers, 3 days of racing, slalom, Super G, giant slalom for the world's best alpine ski racers aged 12 to 15. The Whistler Cup provides them with a chance to take on the world. They arrive in Whistler with the colors and flags of their home countries and leave with friendships, pride, and amazing memories.
Welcome back to Whistler. I'm Nicole Fitzgerald and you are watching Go Sea to Sky. Just last month, 3 skier snowboarders were caught in an avalanche on Spearman Glacier just behind Blackcomb Mountain. One of the group members was completely buried. However, 2 of them were able to dig him out in less than 4 minutes and he survived. The only place that you can learn these life-saving skills is by taking an avalanche skills training course. It's not mandatory, but it should be.
Avalanches are definitely a huge thing when you move into the backcountry. You have to be able to assess terrain and mitigate the risks that are associated with being in the backcountry.
Avalanches are definitely the most obvious threat when venturing into the backcountry, but there are other dangers that are equally life-threatening, ones that the average person like me doesn't think of, and that's why anyone going out of bounds needs to begin inbounds in a classroom.
Well, hello. Hi. Welcome to AST1 with Whistler Alpine Guides. So one of the first things that we talk about in the course program is this Avalator V2.0. So the Avalator is a decision-making tool that helps us evaluate slopes in the mountains.
Free ski competitor Chelsea Sullivan is an avalanche skills training level 1 course instructor here at the Whistler Alpine Guides Bureau. The avalanche skills training level 1 course, more familiarly known as AST1, is a standardized course created by the Canadian Avalanche Association.
The big thing that people take away from the course is just the ability to have those skills that are required to save your life in the backcountry. So using a shovel, beacon, and a probe with the proper techniques and putting yourself in a leadership role so that when an incident does happen, you're prepared to mitigate the risks and take care of that incident in a sort of organized fashion.
The 2.5-day course begins with a mix of practical skills and theory.
So one of the things that we talk about when moving into the backcountry are heuristic traps. Heuristic traps are decision-making mistakes that we make when we move into the backcountry. The reason that we talk about these things is because even experts, people with lots of experience underneath their foot, are moving into the backcountry and still getting into avalanches. The big question is why? The reasons that we talk about are developed by Ian McCammon, and they are called facets. So the first one is familiarity.
Other human factors are explored, like peer pressure, following the expert halo blindly, and the Pied Piper effect of left behind tracks. Then practical skills are delved into.
A big thing that can happen to a lot of beginner skiers is they get lost in the backcountry. So part of the course is to identify features and make a route plan on a map.
So during this part of the course, what we do is set up a scenario. So in the scenario, what we're going to do is search for a buried victim.
Day 2 of the course moves outside, preparing students for the worst-case scenario, the event of an avalanche. Chelsea teaches me how to use 3 key backcountry tools: the transceiver, probe, and shovel.
Statistics show that the paddling movement of moving snow moves more snow than it would if you were to just dig, as if you were shoveling your driveway.
When you learn how to use a shovel, beacon, and a probe, just like anything else, when you learn a new language or when you learn a new skill, if you put that skill away for a certain period of time, you tend to forget.
And there we go, first rescue.
Nice. Our AST1 course wraps up day 3 of training by placing participants in a leadership position.
It gives you an idea of what it's like to be the leader in your group of friends.
The course not only builds knowledge and skills, but confidence as well, giving those new to the backcountry a solid foundation to build on. enabling us to enjoy the beauty of the backcountry safely, time and time again.
That solidarity that you get in the mountains is really something that I think all of us treasure.
Treasure, and now after this course, respect. I was so nervous signing up for this course. I shouldn't have been. Chelsea totally put me at ease. The information was really manageable and I left feeling confident. Once you've finished your AST1 and you've done a couple of trips, you can move on to the AST2 course, which looks at the science behind snowpack. Now, if you're looking for the beauty behind snowpack, David McComb is your man. Engineer by day, photographer by night, this Whistlerite pulls back the curtain on the magic of the backcountry. The magic of the night sky. It only reveals itself to a select few. The naked eye could never see a rolling ocean of clouds in this way. A celestial conjurer is needed. Photographer David McComb is one of those starborn. Today's pilgrimage brings the Whistler resident up Rainbow Mountain. Snow falls in the late afternoon, but if the weather reports and star charts he checked earlier in the day prove right, the skies will clear with the rising moon, and his 4-hour hike may gift him imagery such as this.
I'm not an astronomer by any stretch. I'm not an amateur astronomer by any stretch. I'm a guy who just is enthralled by the night sky.
Like an astronaut, David's job is to travel into the unknown alone. Perched high on mountain tops, it's just him and the night sky.
The further away you can get from light pollution, the better. So when you come out, if it's a really dark sky, you can see the Milky Way beautifully.
The professional photographer of 8 years only began to navigate this sky trail 3 years ago.
I don't use telescopes at all. I just use my DSLR. When I'm shooting the moon, I'm shooting with maybe a 400mm lens, and that's about as close as I'll get with it.
The camera captures what the naked eye can't.
I'm leaving the lens open for a long period of time, 10, 20, 30 seconds, maybe longer. And it's just absorbing more light, and picking up really dark light that is sort of hidden in the background, but it can come through on the sensor. And that's especially true with things like the Aurora Borealis, for instance. In Whistler, we're further south, it's harder to see a really good Aurora Borealis, so that's when the camera can really help. It can sort of bring in some of the colors.
Everything is done manually. Focus points on dark nights are set up in the light, and time lapses for the short film he is creating out of 20,000 photos leaves David's fingers out in the cold.
The whole night, all kinds of different things are happening. But while that's going on, the light conditions can change quite dramatically. So I don't trust the automatic setting for exposure on a camera. So what I do during the night, when the lighting in the environment changes, I'll manually change the camera settings as we go along.
David's life begins at sunset and rests at sunrise. The night owl chases the moon as it makes its pilgrimage over Whistler Mountain. His luminosity is both seen and felt, leaving viewers as starry-eyed as the photographer himself.
The best part is when I don't have to do anything and it's just doing its thing, and I can just sit back and enjoy it and appreciate it as much as the camera is.
A man of the dark, a worshipper of the sky, a star is born right here on Earth. David's imagery is for sale at the White Dog Studio Gallery in Whistler. He's also going to be on display at State of the Art at the World Ski and Snowboard Festival at the Whistler Conference Center. Stay tuned, we've got more backcountry inspired stories coming your way, including an alpine club that hosts beacon rodeos and group tours on the Spearhead Range. Later on in the show,
the Alpine Club gives people an opportunity to get a chance to get our first steps into the outdoor with experienced people.
Meet the director of the Whistler branch of the Alpine Club of Canada.
The following are proud supporters of community programming on Shaw TV.
Ski gear is provided by Nordica.
Everyone's talking about the Classroom Energy Diet Challenge, and we want to take you behind the scenes. Find out how students are stepping up to help protect the planet. Tune into the Shell Classroom Energy Diet Challenge, only on Shaw TV. This is awesome!
There's nothing better than a proposal love story.
I've known for a long time that you're the person for me.
It's full of happiness, yet sometimes it can make us cry. It's warm and heartfelt.
The past 6 years we spent together have been nothing short of adventure.
But most importantly, it's a leap of faith for the one you love. The Proposal, only on Shaw TV.
Welcome back to Go See the Sky. I'm Nicole Fitzgerald. There's an exciting project underway in the Spearhead Range. The project is based around a European model of a hut-based system. Really, it's a backcountry skier's white dream.
My first trip to the Spearhead was amazing.
Spearhead Huts Committee member Stephen Bourne skins up Whistler Mountain, where he recounts his first trip to the Spearhead Range earlier this month.
There's nothing like actually being out in the Spearhead Range, surrounded by literally dozens of peaks and mountains and glaciers as far as the eye can see. Some are beautiful and white and majestic, and then there's others that are rocky and forbidding. I can certainly see why people want to come from all over the world to come and experience this.
Instead of tents, 5 like-minded groups came together to create the Spearhead Huts project, which aims to build a series of huts for skiers and hikers along the Spearhead Range, located in Garibaldi Provincial Park. The range is made up of a dozen-plus peaks that wrap around like a horseshoe between Whistler and Blackcomb Mountains.
The main benefit of a hut system is that it reduces the environmental impact of backcountry travel. It allows traffic, whether it be hiking or skiing, to be sort of concentrated into a smaller area. And it also allows us to manage waste, like human waste, in the most environmentally responsible manner we can.
Backcountry enthusiast and lead hut designer Chad Manley also wanted to see a balance struck between environmental protection and recreational usership in provincial parks. As part of his master's thesis at the University of British Columbia, he volunteered to create a hut site strategy.
We really wanted to kind of capture the spirit of the Spearhead, and a way to do that was finding 3 unique sites. So you're up at top of the mountain, you have a top of the world kind of feeling. A valley site where you'd be hung below, these massive glaciers, where you'd feel enveloped by the grandeur of the space. And then also a more subtle site on the meadows, and that would capture the beauty of the meadow environment.
I'm just really passionate about the area, proud to call it home, and I think that these huts will be a great addition to our day-to-day skiing.
It's important to me because it's in our area. It supports backcountry travel in a safe way. It allows opportunity for more people to be in the backcountry with minimal impact. It allows people to explore more of this range.
Something this first-time spearheader is keen to do, as are others, laying the foundation for the project's bigger picture.
What we hope people will take away from having this hut experience is a greater appreciation for our natural environment and for the need to preserve our alpine environments for future generations.
From Whistler, I'm Nicole Fitzgerald for Shaw TV. One of the key groups behind the Spearhead Huts project is the Whistler branch of the Alpine Club of Canada. We had a chance to catch up with one of its directors, who is also the chair of the Spearhead Huts Committee, to talk to him both about the project and the club. So let's start out with, what is the Alpine Club of Canada and how does it relate to Whistler?
Well, the Alpine Club of Canada is over 100 years old. It was one of the very first alpine clubs established in the world. I think it was like 4th or 5th behind the English and the Swiss and so on. But it's about 6,000 members across Canada, and they have different sections in Canada. So there's a Whistler section, there's a Vancouver section, there's a Calgary section, and so on. The Whistler section is comprised of a couple hundred members, and it's very active in the Sea to Sky corridor, organizing everything from hiking trips to backcountry skiing trips for first-timers, for snowshoeing and so on in the wintertime.
Now, what are some of them? I heard there's like a beacon rodeo that you guys host as well?
Yeah, the Alpine Club does things, tries to engage people and give people an opportunity to, in a non-threatening and non-intimidating way, get a chance to get a first steps into the outdoor with experienced people. And so programs like the rodeo, the transceiver rodeo, is kind of a weekly event that's done. It's just all in good fun where people come out. Transceivers are kind of hidden around in the flower boxes or wherever might be adjacent to the pub, because after all it is a social club as well.
Yeah.
And then people go and find them and practice their skills for transceivers and in a fun setting.
Fantastic. Well, no, obviously you have your monthly trips, you've got the beacon rodeos, but you are also, a lot of the members are involved with the Spearhead Huts project.
Alpine Clubs, one of the things the Alpine Club has always done nationally is build infrastructure in the way of huts. Natural outgrowth of people heading out there and wanting to establish a place where they didn't have to carry a lot of equipment necessarily. And so, and many of the sections have built huts over the years. The Vancouver section has a number of huts. The Whistler section operates the Wendy Thompson hut, which is up in the Duffy Lake corridor. And so the Spearhead Huts was in many respects a natural outgrowth of that, in that the local clubs, both Vancouver, Whistler, the National Club, and then also other groups like the BC Mountaineering Council and so on, those guys all have built huts over the years. And this was seen as actually a coming together of all these individual clubs actually to build one system of huts that, because of the importance and the status and stature of the Spearhead Range in and around Whistler, it's really going to take, and the resources required, it's going to take all the clubs working together to establish that.
Now, it is a huge project and you obviously need to do some fundraising, and you have an event coming up at the World Ski and Snowboard Festival.
We do. The Mountain Multiplicity event, which is hosted with Mountain Life magazine, which is a spectacular magazine that's based out of Squamish in the Sea to Sky corridor. But it's basically one of many fundraisers that we have. This is going to be a mountain culture entertainment show, a whole bunch of different speakers, sort of events, if you will, even I think music and possible poetry, all sorts of things, basically highlighting the mountain culture that's such a rich part of this corridor. But the fundraising is significant. We have 3 huts to build, approximate budget about 1.2 million plus about another 600,000 in kind. It's a significant undertaking, but one that certainly the community supported and we're very excited about.
Well, I actually had a chance to see last year's event. It was amazing. Jordan Manley did an incredible photo slideshow. Robin O'Neill did amazing film. So it's a really eclectic night. Now, if people want to find out more information about how to get involved or more information about the event, where do they go to?
Well, they've got a number of things. Obviously, the web is the place to go. So the Alpine Club of Canada Whistler section has its own website. Vancouver section has its own website. The clubs have their own Facebook pages as well, as you can imagine. So just Alpine Club of Canada Whistler, if you do that search, you'll find our site. Actually, for the event itself, a great place to go is with the World Ski and Snowboard Festival website, and you can purchase your tickets there as well.
Fantastic. Well, if you do want to get tickets for the event, just visit wssf.com. Thank you very much for coming, and good luck with the fundraiser.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, the Mountain Multiplicity Show takes place on Sunday, April 14th at the Whistler Conference Center as part of the World Ski and Snowboard Festival. But if you missed out on the show, don't worry, you can still donate online. All of the websites for any of our stories on the show are available at facebook.com/GoSeaToSky. So get out into the backcountry, but do it safely. From all of us on Shaw TV, thanks for watching.